Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel, and right here I have stylus pens that are actually sold at Five Below. Obviously you can look online, it might be a little bit more than $5, but if you go to Five Below you can find it for a reasonable price. And they claim that it works on, what is it, all touchscreens? Yes, for use with all touchscreen devices. So with that being said, it does have soft rubber tips. I'm going to unbox it for you guys and test it on multiple products so we can see if it actually is full touch, because a lot of times these things are shipped and it only works for particular phones or particular tablets, but let's put it to the test. Anyway, let's get right into this review and not waste any more time. So this is the two pens right here. I already took the pleasure of ripping out the packet. Now this is what I noticed immediately. This is the felt tip that you see right here. So it is a little spongy. I'm not sure if this piece actually comes off or they glued it in, but I'm just going to leave it there. And if you notice, it is, to kind of get the accuracy of it, here we go. It's a spongy tip, so similar to like most stylus pens, but because this is extremely hard plastic right here, I'm assuming the stroke will be a little bit easier to use for touch devices. And I mean, it's okay looking. I do like this. It's obviously the broom from the movie, the flying broom, I believe. I'm not sure what this one is from because I haven't watched the entire series. I don't remember. It's been about a bazillion years. But because of the sturdiness, look at it. This is more so of what a traditional stylus is going to look like, because the entire shaft, I gotta say it, is actually a lot thicker. Again, have to say it for video reasons. And it's easier to do the keystrokes, so I'm going to show you guys in a little bit, while this one feels a lot more flimsier. So just kind of keep that in mind. Anyway, let's go on with those tests now. All right, so let's do the three tests right now. First off is the iPhones. So if you swipe this left and right, let me just kind of do a little test with it. It does seem pretty accurate when it comes to the touches. Now, keep in mind that I am pressing down on this to the point where you can feel the plastic of the end of the pen, and it just swipes just fine. I don't have any issues with the swipe whatsoever so far. Now, and if you try to swipe the menu down, for example, over here, because iPhones have different menus, as you can see, it's very accurate, and to me, it does work pretty well, even holding it. Which if I would have did that, if there were any applications, it would have pulled them up and I would have swiped away. So it does work very well on the pens, though I do want to say, you know, when I tried to scribble with it a little bit off camera, it just didn't really have that accurate key strokes for someone that's like an artist. It's just more so if you just don't want to touch your actual phone itself. So up next is the Nintendo Switch. Now, keep in mind that a lot of the games on the Nintendo Switch are not touchscreen, so this will be more so used on the main menu. And of course, you don't really need to touch the main menu, but just to check to see if it works for all devices, this is why we're doing this. So if you scroll left, right, it does work pretty fine. Even when it comes to clicking things like the settings and scrolling up and down, again, it still works pretty fine for the most part. And as long as you directly touch what it is you need to touch, with minimal effort, it should work just fine, as you can see with the accuracy of what I'm doing. So it's not bad. It's not a bad pen. Now, granted, I do want to say it's really unrealistic to use a stylus pen on a Nintendo Switch unless you're playing some game that requires a stylus pen. If you still have like a Nintendo 3DS, unfortunately, I don't have that, but I would assume that this may or may not work on it. I'm not too sure. But it says all devices. So, and again, because it has that felt tip right here, and it's no like technology, Bluetooth, or specialty, whatever touch screens, for the most part, this should work on accurately, unless the software is a little janky when it comes to the touch. And I want to show you that in the Steam Deck, because I did test that too, and you're going to see a dramatic difference between the Switch and the phone. So the Steam Deck. Now, this is obviously my favorite device right here. So first thing I want to do is I want to show you the touch of how this is going to be with just a finger. And now, in my opinion, it's just the Steam Deck's touch is a little janky. I don't know if it's because it uses like a Steam software and it's kind of experimental. That's not experimental at this point, but it just doesn't have the same accuracy of touch that, let's say, another regular touchscreen has. It feels a little bit more janky. Sometimes it skips a little bit. When I play the game, it's perfectly fine, by the way, in case you're wondering. But in this aspect, touch is a little iffy. So if I go ahead and do this with the pen, and remember with the Nintendo Switch over here, I just want to show you guys from comparison that the Switch pretty smooth, right? The phone, pretty smooth. This is janky. See what I'm saying? It's like the touches aren't really that accurate at all. I kind of gotta, if I use my hand, it's easier to use my hand to go backwards and touch the screen and go up and down, while this, it doesn't do the job. If you press too hard with it, it's going to highlight something because it uses like that windowish software. If I swipe in this menu right here, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. So it doesn't work for all touchscreens. But theoretically, if you're using a tablet, if you're using an iPad, which if you use an iPad, you can use an Apple Pen. I actually have those, got them in a pawn shop for like $20, $30 instead of paying the regular Apple price for one, which is $100, which is ludicrous, by the way. But regardless, it doesn't work well for the Steam Deck, but other systems like the Nintendo Switch, Android tablets, iPads, iPhones, it should work perfectly fine. So just keep that in mind. So to answer the question whether this is worth the asking price, yeah, absolutely. Let me explain. Some people don't want to use their finger for everything when it comes to touches, and there's nothing wrong with that. I tried some stylus pens previously on this channel that didn't work for tablets because it was more so like fine tip. So it wasn't meant for that, but I wanted to test it anyway because it did say stylus pen. Those wouldn't work. If you happen to go to Five Below and you see this, and you know someone that's a Harry Potter fan, you may know someone that, you know, sits in front of their computer, their desk, whatever it is, read anime, doesn't really matter, and they want to scroll with the pen rather than, let's say, their finger to get less smudges on the screen, because some people are like that, they're really anal about smudges. I do think that this is going to work well in that regard. So again, $5. Name brand product, Harry Potter, Five Below. Probably not going to be there for too long because these type of things sell out well, especially when it's name brand. But I figured that anyone that was interested in, you know, testing it out to see how well it actually worked on touchscreens would in fact want to see this video. And lastly, like I said earlier, it's not going to really work well for artists out there. So even if you have a bigger tablet with more real estate, the touch accuracy just isn't there for keystrokes. When I tried to draw eyebrows and stuff like that, it just didn't work. When I tried to draw eye, I still got the picture done, but it just wasn't really that good. It made me look like an amateur artist. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm not used to the touchscreen. I normally use a drawing pad for these type of things, but you know, figured you just want to know. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.